Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we're actually going to do something a little bit different, and I think I'm going to put this video in the homebrew category that I have on the channel here. So for this one we're going to have a look at a beer by Niamh from Appellation Wines in Edinburgh. They've got two stores, the Haymarket one, which is the one I usually go into, and that's where Niamh works mostly I think, and they also have the one up at Comley Bank in the north of the city. But this beer is one that she brewed at the Craft Beer Kitchen, which is run by Stuart Brewing Company, a really good Scottish brewery actually, and basically you can go along for the day and brew with Stuart's head brewer, and that's what Niamh did to produce this beer. So her beer is called Cali, Donia. It's a strong American IPA and it comes in at 6%. It should be really nice. It's got a malt base of pale, amber and wheat malts with some golden oats as well, and it's late hopped with Simcoe and dry hopped with Mosaic, so there should be some really nice kind of tropical fruit flavours coming out of this one. It should be kind of passion fruit, a little bit of apricot maybe some grapefruit as well I would guess, and some sort of piney floral aromaticity. So I'm looking forward to trying this one. It's got all the makings to be a good beer, and the yeast strain used in this one is US-05 apparently, so should be quite nice. I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open it up. You can see some nice pictures of Scotland there. I think that might be I don't know if that's Musselburgh Beach or something like that. There is a kind of jetty thing out there, but some nice pictures there. You can make custom labels, of course, when you go along to Craft Beer Kitchen. There you can see Appellation Wines symbol, and you can also see Craft Beer Kitchen on the side there too, and that's the ingredients that are in the beer as well. So yeah, I'll put all the links to Craft Beer Kitchen, Stuart Brewing Company of course, and Appellation Wines in the description below, along with all my social media and things, so do make sure you check that out. Appellation Wines is actually a really nice little store. They've always got quite unusual things when I go in. And just to tell you a little bit about Stuart Brewing, in fact, these guys were founded back in 2004 by Steve and Joe Stewart. Steve was a graduate of Heriot-Watt and he worked down in Birmingham for quite a long time. He worked for Base Brewery, I believe it was, in England and in Ireland of course, and he worked for Harpoon Brewery over in Boston in America too, and then he moved back to Edinburgh to set up his own company with Stuart Brewing, and his father-in-law was a steel fabricator, so they actually built a lot of their own equipment together, which is pretty cool actually. I would love to go and have a look at Stuart's Brewing Company and have his brewery and things like that, so hopefully I can do that sometime soon. But let's actually crack on with this review then. I'm looking forward to trying this one. There you can see it does have a Stuart Brewing Company bottle cap on this one, so let's get it open and get on with the tasting then. I'm really looking forward to this one. So yeah, oh, you can smell some of that nice tropical fruit as you open this guy up. I'm much looking forward to this one. Niamh actually is really nice. Whenever I've been into the store and and been asking about beer, she's always taken a lot of time to chat to me and things, and she was quite excited actually to let me have a go at this beer. I think I actually paid £2 I think for this one, so I'm always kind of happy to do that when it comes to these beers and to try something a little bit different. So as you can see, this beer's poured a really nice orangey amber colour. It is quite hazy. There's a little bit of sediment floating around in it. As you can see, it's got a solid 2-finger frothy white head on it. It should be lovely. Some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head. I'm not really sure. You can see if I hold it over the light here, you can see that there is some transparency to it, but it is quite opaque actually. So let's have a little look at the aroma of this and see how we get on. Oh, that's really nice. It does have the aroma that you'd expect from a kind of IPA. I love that you can pick up some of that nice bready character in there. That's the wheaty malts coming out. It has that nice kind of smooth wheaty base to it. A little bit of spicy character in there as well. You can pick up some of the kind of cereal malts in there. There is maybe a little bit of an almost biscuity sweetness to it. Yeah, I would stick with that. It does, without sugaring it up, it does seem to me that it's quite a malt forward aroma coming out of this one. But yeah, nice big wheaty malt base on this one. As I say, a little bit of spice, but really it's the wheat I think that's dominating the malt base of this one. You can pick up a little bit of biscuity sweetness, I would say. It does have just a little bit of that almost biscuity syrupy character coming out, which is lovely, but we'll sugar it up and see what we can get from the hops. You can get a little bit of the tropical fruit. You can get a little bit of the kind of passion fruit, maybe a bit of apricot in there as well, as I was expecting from the Simcoe. And it's kind of grassy. I'm not getting too much in the way of floral character or kind of pine resin as I would have expected from the hops. To me, this one smells like it's more like a kind of malty forward aroma actually. But yeah, there's definitely a bit of presence from the tropical fruits there. Yeah, definitely, I would stick with that. Peaches and apricots. There is a little bit of that coming out there. I'm getting a little bit of citrus from it as well, and some grassy character. Not really that kind of stronger floral character that you can sometimes get, or pine resin. But I'm definitely getting some of that nice kind of apricot-y sort of passion fruit aroma that you'd expect from the Simcoe. The grassy character, I think, is quite distinctive, and I think that's probably coming from the mosaic. So it smells quite interesting. If you get the chance to try this beer, just take a little bit of time and actually enjoy the aroma of it, because it's quite interesting. It's not often that you'll find an IPA that has this kind of wheat forward character to the aroma. So let's get stuck into this one then. This one is the Donia, and Slàinte. Shout out to Niamh at Appellation Wines at Haymarket in Edinburgh. Slàinte. That's nice actually. As I was kind of expecting with it, it does have a really smooth kind of big bready malt base, and I actually do like some of the IPAs that do that. Yeah, and what's interesting for me about this one is that you can actually taste the kind of the Stewart influence that's gone into this beer. I reviewed a Stewart beer maybe about a week ago before I'm filming this one, and it's when you've reviewed beer for a wee while, you start to pick up on kind of trademarks of the brewing, and you can pick up a little bit of that in this beer. They just have a certain kind of mouthfeel to them, and I'm getting that mouthfeel and the same sort of idea from the malt base in this one. But yeah, it's actually, this is quite interesting because the malt base feels the same as some of the Stewart beers I've had before, but the actual fruity character that's coming off of this is quite different. I'm picking up a little bit of a kind of I'm getting the peaches and the apricots. I'm getting the Simcoe hop coming out of this one nicely. The mosaic hop for me is taking a bit of a back seat. Really, I'm getting some nice kind of passion fruit in there, and it's the apricots for me are sticking out in this beer, to be honest with you. But look at that. That second pour there has just come out perfectly. Absolutely perfect pour. Really nice head on this one actually, really smooth and foamy. But it looks lovely. And it tastes pretty damn good as well. And one thing I should say as well actually, once your palate adjusts to this beer, you start to get more of the hoppy character. To me it came off quite malty at the start, but the hoppiness is building in this one. And the thing I would say about this is it's a very smooth beer. It's not too punchy in the hops department, and it's not too forward with the malts. It's got a nice balance, so this beer is more about getting all of these flavours and blending them together quite well, and that's always a good kind of characteristic to have. A lot of people like beers that are very punchy when it comes to like the piney resins or the grapefruit or the oranges or something like that, and sometimes I find that folk can forget that it's more about how the flavour balances, and this beer balances quite well. But yeah, that's nice. As I'm taking more and more of it in, I'm getting more of that hoppy character. So you are getting a little bit of the pine resins that you can expect. Usually it's mosaic that will give you the pine resins rather than Simcoe. But there's a nice kind of pine resiny floral aromaticity to this beer, which you would expect from both hops actually. At the back corners of the palate I'm getting a wee bit of earthiness, which will be the mosaic coming out. And just behind the front curve of the tongue, that's where you get some of the fruity characters coming out. There's a bit of passion fruit in there, but really I think it's the apricot. For me, it is more of an apricot flavour that's coming out of this beer. Yeah, I'd stick with that. For me it's apricot. There is passion fruit in there underneath, but the flavour that's really sticking for me actually is apricots. Yeah, that's nice. It's if you take a gulp of it rather than a sip, you get even more of that apricot-y flavour kicking out. It's actually quite juicy around the front edge of the tongue. It's not too dry, and then just later on in the aftertaste you get the dry floral character coming out a little bit more. It's nicely done, this beer, I have to say that. So the malt base, I would say, definitely quite bready. There is a little bit of cereally character to it as well, and I'm getting a wee bit of a kind of biscuity, syrupy thing coming on with it, but it blends together really nice. And I would maybe categorise this, I would be tempted to categorise this beer almost as a white IPA rather than just a regular American IPA. The wheat malts, I say, I always like these beers that have a nice kind of bready malt base. With an IPA, you either want to go for the breadiness, I would say, and go for the white IPA, you want to go for the black IPA, or if it's just a regular IPA, you want to have the kind of caramel flavours being a bit more prominent in this one. My only thing I would say about this beer, I would classify it more as a white IPA than a regular IPA, simply for that reason that the wheat is so prominent in the flavour actually, but it works for it really nicely. And to be honest, style doesn't matter, it's more about whether the beer is good or not, and this one's pretty good. I would certainly drink this again, so hopefully Niamh brews a few more batches of this. So, the other question I should answer, I think I paid about £2 for this bottle, somewhere around that, maybe £2.50. The question would be whether I would pay that if it's a commercial beer, and I would. You know, I would say that. The only thing I would say, like I was saying a second ago, is that it should be classed as a white IPA rather than a kind of regular IPA, just because of how much wheat malt comes out in the flavour of this one. But £2 for this beer, £2 is certainly a good deal, no question. But yeah, hoppy flavours in this one are really nice. So if you get the chance to try this one, I'm not sure if many of you will actually, but give it a go and see what you think, because it is pretty nice actually. If you like apricot flavours, you'll enjoy this one. There's a bit of passion fruit in there as well, and some nice kind of floral, grassy character coming out actually. In terms of the mouthfeel, I'd say mid-bodied. Definitely mid-bodied. There's a little bit of oily character there. For me though, it's really a bit more wet. It's actually quite a kind of wet feeling beer, this one, but it works. There's a good bit of hoppy bitterness, some juicy fruit characters, and the malt base is very, very smooth. Like I say, this one really does lean towards that wheaty kind of thing, and my only thing I would say about this beer would be that it should be a white IPA it's listed as, rather than an American IPA. In terms of the alcohol warmth, you don't really notice that. There's not really any kind of boozy characters to this one, but that's the wheat malt probably covering that. But it works very well, and in terms of this one, if it was a commercial beer and I paid £2 for it as a commercial beer, I'd be pretty happy with it. So yeah, hopefully Niamh can brew a couple more batches of this, or can it brew something else that's as good as that. But yeah, no, very good beer. Always cool to review these more kind of homebrew beers. I probably will put this video into the homebrew category since it's not a regular commercial beer, but she's done a nice job with this one, and if you do get the chance, make sure you go into the Haymarket store of Appellation Wines. They've always got a good little selection of craft beers, various things from across Scotland, some Canadian, American and things like that. But they've always got a pretty good selection, and Niamh will always be there to help you out. So yeah, thank you once again for watching my videos. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you do want to send me some homebrews to have a look at, just get in contact with me through the Facebook page. I'm always happy to review beers like this one that aren't commercial. But thank you again for watching, and until the next time, do go and check out my other beer reviews. You can check out my sake and whiskey reviews too, but most importantly, make sure you go and check out Appellation Wines if you find yourself in Edinburgh here in Scotland. Slander just now, and I will catch you soon. Cheers.